Why, hello everybody. We're in the third video of our Brief History of the Apostle Paul series. At the end of the last video, Paul had just been blinded on the road to Damascus. So in this video, we're going to carry on from there. So Paul is now in Damascus. He's at a house. He's blind. And Ananias is told by God to go and heal Saul. And this obviously starts the greatest conversion in the history of the world. So Ananias is a little nervous about going to see Saul. He's like, are you sure about this? You know, this guy's been chasing us and torturing us and putting us in prison and beating us. You want me to go heal this guy? And God's like, yep, that's what you're going to do. Because Paul is going to be the biggest catalyst in the spread of the gospel ever. He basically founded the church. And without him, there would be no Christianity. So God knew what he was doing. So now, Ananias goes to Straight Street. He finds Saul. He's blind. He hasn't eaten. He hasn't drank in 3 days. He's a mess. Ananias lays his hands on him. His eyes clear. It's a miracle. So now Saul goes and becomes baptized. So now, in 3 days, he has gone from the hardest persecutor of the followers of Christ to the biggest spreader of the gospel and the most loyal follower of Jesus. So after Saul gets baptized, he doesn't head back to Jerusalem. He goes out to the desert in Arabia for 3 years. Now, there isn't a whole lot of information on what he's doing for 3 years, but from what I've been able to find out through my research and reading and watching videos and, just doing my due diligence, is that a lot of scholars go with the idea that that's where he was preparing for his ministry. He was talking to God. He was with Jesus. Because he was about to become the greatest spreader of the gospel ever. He was going to Jews. He was going to Gentiles. He was in the pagan houses of worship. And this guy, he was going to everybody. No fear. I mean, nobody else could do this. So you imagine he needed some prep time. He needed to spend some time with God to be able to do this. So Paul's converted in Damascus, goes down to Arabia for his 3 years, then goes back to Damascus. And I believe this is where he's in the synagogues preaching. The Pharisees and the legalists come after him. This is when I believe they have to lower him down the wall of Damascus because they were guarding the gates and they wanted to kill him. Then he goes to Jerusalem. This is where he meets with Cephas, who's Peter, for 2 weeks in Jerusalem. So Saul's hanging out in Jerusalem for a couple of weeks with Peter. I'm sure they're comparing notes, seeing if they're preaching the same kind of thing. And it turns out they are. So then now there's people coming against Paul. They're looking to kill him. So they take him to Caesarea and then they move him back up to Tarsus. And then he stays there for a while. And we'll cover that in our next video.